Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. You ready to explore ATLUS's new RPG metaphor? ReFantazio.
Oh, yeah. I've been so excited for this one.
Me too. And to make this deep dive really special, we've been poring over all those juicy articles and previews.
Yeah, so many.
We're going to cover everything you need to know.
From the innovative combat to the archetype system,
Oh, and don't forget the time management element.
which is huge in this game.
Huge. So many tough choices that impact the kingdom.
Right from the get-go.
Okay, so first things first for all you Persona fans out there.
Yeah, listen up.
This game comes from the same creative team.
The geniuses behind Persona.
We're talking director Katsura Hashino.
Character designer Shigenori Sojima.
And of course, the legend himself, Shuji Meguro on the music.
Can't go wrong with that team.
Seriously. But don't think this is just Persona with a fresh coat of paint.
Oh, no, this is something else entirely.
Right. It's got that signature ATLUS DNA,
That feel.
but metaphor.
Mm.
ReFantazio is a fresh experience.
Brand new world and gameplay systems.
Okay, speaking of the world, get ready to be transported to the United Kingdom of Uchronia.
It's breathtaking, honestly.
Right. Imagine a land inspired by Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights.
You've got gorgeous landscapes.
Strange creatures.
And let's not forget the political intrigue.
Yeah, the king is dead, and there's this magical tournament.
To decide the next ruler.
It's high stakes.
And you're not just watching this unfold.
You're right in the thick of it.
You're playing as the protagonist who's on this quest.
To break a curse affecting a prince.
And you've got this mysterious fairy companion named Gallica to guide you.
Classic RPG setup, but so much potential for depth.
Yeah, already hooked.
Me too. But amazing world captivating story. Okay, how does it actually play? Let's talk combat.
Get ready for this.
It's turn-based, but with real-time elements.
It's like strategic planning meets split-second decisions.
They took the press turn system from Shin Megami Tensei
Which we all know and love.
and made it even more complex.
You have to analyze your enemy.
Find their weakness.
And exploit it.
To gain extra turns to unleash these crazy combos.
It's all about strategy and adaptability.
And the best part? No predefined classes.
Nope.
Metaphor. ReFantazio has this awesome archetype system.
Where you can truly customize your party.
It goes way beyond picking a class.
Archetypes define role and allow skills to be inherited across those roles.
Imagine a warrior who can heal.
Or a mage who can tank, hits like a champ.
Oh, it gets even better.
Hold on to your hats.
You can combine different archetypes.
For these insane synthesis attacks.
It's like team-up moves that'll obliterate your enemies.
I'm already thinking about my dream team.
Me too. What kind of party are you building?
Ooh, so many possibilities. I'm thinking a stealthy rogue who can buff allies.
Maybe a tank who can debuff enemies while taking tons of damage?
The possibilities are endless. It all comes down to your playstyle.
How you approach each battle. I love it. But wait, there's more.
More.
Buckle up, because that Persona-style time management we talked about,
Oh, yeah.
it's back, and it's even more intricate.
You're juggling dungeon exploration
Story quests,
and building those crucial relationships.
all while managing your time wisely.
It's like a daily calendar where every choice matters.
You might have to choose between exploring a dungeon
Hanging out with a potential ally.
or attending some political event that could shift the entire kingdom.
Tough choices.
Consequences for every decision.
Yeah.
It's intense.
But so engaging.
And speaking of relationships,
Yes. The bond follower and royal virtue systems.
they had another layer of complexity.
It's like Persona's social links, but with kingdom-wide implications.
These bonds you form unlock new skills and abilities.
But they also affect your royal virtue, which reflects your standing in the kingdom.
It impacts your ability to rally support for your cause.
So these bonds aren't just about getting cool skills.
They actually affect your political power.
It's mind-blowing how they've connected personal growth to political influence.
And not just building a party.
You're building a network of allies who believe in your vision for Uchronia.
It's like a political simulator inside a grand RPG.
I know, and all of this is happening against a backdrop of incredible visuals.
And a soundtrack that'll blow your mind.
We've mentioned the Hieronymus Bosch-inspired art style.
But Shoji Meguro, the musical genius behind Persona.
He's outdone himself.
The music is a blend of orchestral grandeur and haunting vocals.
It captures the mood and atmosphere of the game perfectly.
It's epic, emotional, and at times a little bit eerie.
You really feel like you're on this grand adventure.
In a world full of beauty and danger.
And mystery.
So we've got this amazing world, a captivating story,
Strategic combat,
deep character customization.
and time management that'll keep you on your toes.
But wait, there's more. Those dungeons we mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
They're not your typical corridors and boss battles.
They're intricately designed environments.
That'll test your strategic thinking, your puzzle-solving skills, and your combat prowess.
And each dungeon has its own unique theme and layout.
You might find yourself navigating traps, deciphering ancient riddles, or even manipulating the environment to your advantage.
It's not just about hacking and slashing your way through.
You have to use your brain and your brawn to overcome these challenges.
And the rewards are definitely worth it.
You'll discover powerful weapons and armor,
Rare crafting materials.
even unique accessories that grant you special abilities.
It's a real sense of accomplishment when you conquer a dungeon.
Not just for the story progression, but for the loot.
Oh yeah, the loot is amazing.
It's not just about the loot.
Right.
The dungeons are actually integral to the main story.
They offer valuable opportunities to level up your party, strengthen your bonds, and uncover crucial lore.
Which sheds light on the mysteries of Uchronia.
So don't skip the dungeons, folks.
They're not just a test of your skills.
They're a window into the heart of the game's world and story.
We've covered a lot in this first part of our deep dive.
From the combat and character customization to the immersive world building.
But before we move on, there's one more aspect of metaphor, ReFantazio, that deserves our attention.
Your mobile base, the Gauntlet Runner.
The Gauntlet Runner is such a unique element,
Picture this, a steampunk ship with mechanical legs.
traversing this fantastical world.
It's not just a mode of transportation.
It's your mobile base, where you can strategize between adventures.
It's like a character in itself, this steampunk marvel trekking across Uchronia.
Right. It adds a whole new dimension to the immersive experience.
And it ties back to that time management aspect we discussed.
Even when you're not actively exploring dungeons or completing quests
You're making choices aboard the Gauntlet Runner.
that impact your progress and relationships.
It's a constant reminder that every moment in Uchronia is meaningful.
Now I have to ask about Gallica, your fairy companion.
Oh, Gallica.
What's her deal? Is she just a guide, or is there more to her?
She's definitely more than meets the eye.
Intriguing. It sounds like her story could be a deep dive all on its own.
Maybe someday.
We know ATLUS games aren't afraid to tackle mature themes.
They go there.
And metaphor. ReFantazio seems to be no exception.
So while it's set in this fantastical world,
It doesn't shy away from real-world issues,
you'll encounter themes of discrimination
political corruption.
and the struggles of individuals navigating a complex and often unfair society.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows, then.
Definitely not.
But that makes me even more interested. It sounds like this game has something to say.
It does.
I'm sure there are lighter moments too, right?
Of course. ATLUS is known for their witty dialogue
Quirky characters.
and moments of genuine humor.
Even in the darkest of times, there's always room for laughter and connection.
Exactly.
Speaking of connection, let's dive deeper into those bond follower and royal virtue systems.
Let's do it.
They sound like they play a huge role in shaping your character's journey.
And their influence in the kingdom.
As you build bonds with other characters, you gain access to unique skills and abilities.
For combat and exploration.
But these relationships also affect your royal virtue
Which reflects your standing in the kingdom.
and influences your ability to rally support for your cause.
So it's not just about getting cool skills.
It's about building genuine connections that impact your political standing.
It's a delicate balance between personal ambition and the greater good.
This game just keeps getting deeper and deeper.
And we haven't even talked about the music yet.
Shoji Meguro is a master at creating soundtracks that capture the mood and atmosphere of a game.
And in metaphor, ReFantazio, he blends orchestral grandeur with haunting operatic vocals.
To create a sense of wonder mystery, and at times a touch of melancholy.
It's truly breathtaking.
It sounds like the music is a character in itself.
It really is.
Okay, I know everyone wants to know the game's been out for a couple of months now.
Yeah. Has it lived up to the hype?
The reviews have been overwhelmingly positive.
People are loving it.
Critics are praising the combat, the narrative, and the stunning visuals and music,
They're saying it's a worthy successor to the Persona legacy.
while also acknowledging its unique identity and ambitious scope.
It sounds like ATLUS has delivered another masterpiece.
But the real question is, will you be stepping into Uchronia to unravel its mysteries?
That's the beauty of it. The choice is yours.
What kind of ruler will you become? What alliances will you forge? And how will you shape the fate of Uchronia?
The possibilities are endless.
Okay, before we get too lost in the endless possibilities, I want to bring it back to our listener.
Yeah.
We've thrown a lot of information at you today, a captivating story, strategic combat, a deep character customization system, a time management element, a world full of political intrigue, stunning visuals and music.
It's a lot to take in.
What stood out to you the most in this deep dive?
What fascinates me is how all these elements come together to create such a rich and immersive experience.
It's more than just a game.
It's an exploration of choice and consequence, personal growth and political power.
It's like a mirror reflecting our own choices in the real world.
We only have so much time and energy.
So we had to be strategic about what we invest in, what relationships we nurture, and what goals we pursue.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And just like in the game, those choices shape who we become and the impact we have on the world around us.
This deep dive is making me think about my own life choices.
In a good way, though, right?
Yeah, totally.
That's the power of a well-crafted game.
It can entertain, challenge, and even make us reflect on our own values and priorities.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive into metaphor, ReFantazio, the big takeaway is this.
It's an invitation to explore, experiment, connect, and make choices that matter.
In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, that's a pretty powerful experience.
It is indeed. And remember, no matter what path you choose in Uchronia, may your journey be filled with wonder, discovery, and maybe even a few aha moments along the way. Yeah, so we left off talking about the Gauntlet Runner.
This awesome steampunk ship with mechanical legs.
Yeah, it's not just transportation, it's your home base.
You can strategize, plan your next move.
Exactly, and it ties back into that time management.
Right, even when you're not out exploring.
You're making choices on the Gauntlet Runner.
That affect everything.
Every moment in Uchronia matters.
Okay, now I'm curious about Gallica.
Your fairy companion?
Is she just a guide? Or something more?
She's definitely more than meets the eye.
Interesting.
She's connected to the prince you're trying to help.
And to the curse, I bet?
She holds secrets.
Oh, so there's more to her story.
There's always more to uncover.
Speaking of uncovering things, we know ATLUS loves those mature themes.
Oh, they don't shy away.
And metaphor. ReFantazio seems to follow suit.
Definitely.
It tackles real-world issues.
Like discrimination.
Political corruption.
The struggles people face in an unfair society.
So it's not all fantastical fun and games.
There's depth to it.
Which I appreciate. Makes it more impactful.
Right, it makes you think.
But I'm sure there's humor too.
Of course. You gotta have some lighthearted moments.
ATLUS always delivers on that.
Nitty dialogue, quirky characters.
Makes it feel more real, you know.
It's all about balance.
Speaking of balance, let's talk more about those bond follower and royal virtue systems.
Yeah, they're so interesting.
They really shape your character's journey.
And their influence in the kingdom.
So you build bonds with other characters.
Which unlocks skills and abilities.
But those relationships affect your royal virtue.
Your standing in the kingdom.
And your ability to rally support.
It's a delicate balance.
Between personal ambition and the greater good.
Your choices have far-reaching consequences.
For you and the entire kingdom.
It's mind-blowing.
Okay, and we haven't even talked about the music.
Shoji Meguro never disappoints.
He's created another masterpiece for this game.
It's a blend of orchestral grandeur and operatic vocals.
Creates a sense of wonder and mystery.
And even a touch of melancholy at times.
It sounds incredible.
It truly is.
So the game's been out for a while now.
Yeah, what's the verdict?
The reviews are overwhelmingly positive.
People are raving about it.
Critics are praising the combat, the story, the visuals, the music.
They're calling it a worthy successor to Persona.
But with its own unique identity.
It sounds like ATLUS has hit another one out of the park.
But the real question is, will you be stepping into Uchronia?
To experience it all firsthand.
What kind of ruler will you become? What alliances will you make?
How will you shape the fate of this world?
It's all up to you.
The possibilities are endless.
So many possibilities.
It's exciting.
It is. All right, before we wrap up, I want to hear from our listeners.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
What stood out to you the most?
What are you excited to explore?
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
From combat and characters to themes and the world itself.
But before we go, there's one more thing we need to talk about.
The ending.
We've hinted at choices and consequences.
But how does it all come together?
Does metaphor, ReFantazio, stick the landing?
Let's find out. Yeah, so we left off talking about the ending of Metaphor ReFantazio.
Does it stick the landing?
Well, it's tricky because there are so many different endings.
Oh, right. The whole choice and consequence thing.
Exactly. Your decisions throughout the game lead you down different paths.
So there's no one definitive ending.
No. It all depends on how you play it, how you build your character, and the relationships you forge.
That's pretty ambitious.
It is, but ATLUS pulls it off. They managed to tie all the threads together.
So even though there are multiple endings, it still feels cohesive.
Exactly. Each ending feels earned, like a natural culmination of your choices.
That's good to hear. I hate it when games have endings that feel tacked on.
Right. It's got to feel satisfying.
So without giving too much away, what can you tell us about the different types of endings?
Well, there are endings that focus on personal growth, some that emphasize political power, and others that explore the consequences of your actions on a larger scale.
So you could end up a wise and benevolent ruler,
Or a ruthless tyrant.
or maybe something in between,
It's all about the choices you make.
which ties back to the whole theme of the game
Right, this idea that we have the power to shape our own destiny.
and the destiny of those around us.
Our actions have consequences, both big and small.
It's a pretty powerful message.
And it's delivered in a way that's both thought-provoking and entertaining.
That's the magic of ATLUS.
They know how to create games that stay with you long after you finish playing.
So even though Metaphor ReFantazio has been out for a while,
People are still talking about it.
debating the different endings, analyzing the themes, and sharing their experiences,
It's become a cultural phenomenon.
which is pretty impressive for an RPG.
It shows that there's a real hunger for games that offer something more.
More than just mindless entertainment.
Games that make us think, feel, and connect with each other.
Metaphor. ReFantazio definitely achieves that.
It's a game that's both epic in scope and deeply personal.
It's an exploration of choice and consequence, power and responsibility, and ultimately what it means to be human.
In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain,
It's a reminder that we have the power to make a difference.
even if it's just in our own little corner of the world.
Well said. And that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Metaphor ReFantazio.
We hope you enjoyed exploring this incredible game with us.
Until next time, keep diving deeper, keep questioning, and keep playing those games that make you think.